What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day, and I'm bringing you another KA-BAR product. I have not taken this out yet for usage, but I'm going to tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with this knife already. This thing is built really well. Before I get into it, I have all the specs over here, so I didn't have to memorize it all because there's a whole bunch to go through. We're going to talk about, let's talk about this blade first. And then we'll get into that sheath because it's pretty involved. So that is pretty attractive. That is pretty attractive. I do like that. I want to give you a good shot of this. What's going on right there? So this handle, it's a multi-position handle, right? And it's called the Adventure Grip. So the Adventure Grip, I'm not exactly sure what it's made of. But it's very plasticky feeling. It's well contoured. It's got a great shape to it. It's pretty to look at. The swell right here in between the fingers is thick. So while a little finger swell right there would be great, I think if they thin this out, if they narrowed that down a little bit, because right here your palm swell is great for the back of the hand, but it shouldn't be that thick in the front of the hand. I think that right there is the only thing that makes it really uncomfortable. The actual texturing is good, but it's very plasticky feeling. And when you're talking about a budget knife, then you get a plasticky feeling handle and you're thinking, it's all right. I mean, this knife cost me 20 bucks. This knife, let's see, this knife retails on KA-BAR's site for $84.21. So it's not a budget knife. It's got a great price, I'm not going to lie. It's a really great price for the amount of knife you're getting. But you'd think that you might have been better off with some G10 or something like that, you know, maybe some Micarta. This plasticky feel, especially when you get wet, it's just not that great. One thing, I'm sorry, it's blurring up. I can't do anything about that because I don't know how to. One thing about the handle is when you're doing a chop, you want to be in the rear of the handle, right? And because it's true full tank construction, you're going to be okay doing that. But it's really slick. So having a lanyard hole right here is going to be probably important because you might want it if you're doing a whole lot of chopping. It is really slick. All this texturing, all that doesn't do a hint of anything as far as keeping it. I mean, just wiggling it. I keep my hand here and just wiggle it. Watch. I got a grip on it. I wiggle it and it shoots straight up. You see that? And that's the blade, all the weight pushing down. I wiggle it. It goes straight up. There's just not a whole lot of grip on the grip. When you're holding it on your... your proper way, I guess. I don't even know how to call it. You just put your hand in the proper position. Just really, really uncomfortable with the thickness right here. Not the shape, but the thickness. The shape is great. So when you're doing finer work and you're bringing it up, it doesn't have a choil, but right here in the ricasso, it's got this nice flat spot and then a cut. And I like this because that appears to be like it would be pretty good to start a fire with, to catch spark. It does have a squared spine, but I am one of those believers in don't use the spine for that. Use the end of the edge that you're not going to be using. But this one even has a little bit of area right here that I think would probably be better to start spark with. So, however, this position right here, this is the most comfortable position on the entire knife. When to do fine work, that's it. However, this thing is a chopper, and they actually had a pretty cool, they call it, they said if you crossed a scalpel and a sledgehammer, that's what you have. And the reason is because this blade is thick. So let's get into the, so we're looking at 1.1 pounds of knife. We are 12 3/4 inches overall in length. It is a flat grind, which I do like. Let's see, it is made in USA. Awesome. Blade width is 1 3/4 inches, which is really nice. Your edge angles are 20. the exact handle material, what it's called is GFN-PA66. Not a fan. Let's see, the sheath, yeah, it comes from China, we get it. The blade length itself is 7¼ inches. They call the shape a chopper, which it definitely is. This Potbelly is great for that. Let's see, you got 1095 Crovan, like in a lot of the K-bars, which is fantastic. It's really sharp. They do an awesome job at that, like always. Your Rockwell hardness is 56, 58, and your blade thickness is 1/4 inch. And it is every bit of that. I mean, it is every bit a 1/4 inch blade. And that is one thing that I love. I really wish that the scales were made of something different. And because they're not glued on, because they're actually screwed on, what I'm thinking is I might take these off and make my own scales. Because as it sits, I mean, look at how fat it is. We're supposed to be able to get a good squeeze, and it's supposed to be fit between 2 fingers. I have huge hands, and that's uncomfortable on me. I can't imagine a person with smaller hands than mine being comfortable on that swell right there. Look at how fat that is. Think about it. This right here is 1/4 inch already, right? So now you're looking at 1 inch just right there, and then you have the swell on top of that. So you're looking at probably 1.25 inches of in between the finger space. Just not done right. So I think I might make my own scales. I'll see once I get to testing it and see if it changes my mind. As far as the blade sharpness, let's check it out. All right, so it is sharp. It is just absolutely, I mean, I didn't even do the regular shave. I just dragged it across me. And that blade takes off a lot of hair. I mean, easy money. Hooly dooly, whatever that means. I love the shape of this. I'm a huge roach belly, pot belly, knife shaped fan. And I think for me, literally, it just comes down to the swell. It's the only reason I'm having the love-hate relationship with it. Otherwise, if that wasn't so thick right there, I'd be like, oh my God, this thing's amazing. I'm just having such a hard time with it because of that. And the problem is, this thing's amazing. This is a great knife. I just can't get over that big fatness right there. So who knows? Maybe they'll do something about that. Maybe they'll see it enough and say, okay, maybe that's not what we should have done. Who knows? Maybe they won't. The coating on the blade is typical K-bar, and I'm not sure, but it might even catch a match. And a lot of these, when you see the rough black coating, that's what they're made for, is to be able to catch a match. This one is fine enough to where it shouldn't tear up a match head, and it's burly enough to where it should catch. The coating is really, really well. The swedge on this thing is just awesome. That means your penetration is going to be fantastic. Wow, like a Broadway prostitute. Penetration, penetration, penetration. This thing is burly. This thing is burly. It's a man-sized knife, and I say that because I don't think any women are going to get their fingers around this stupid swell right here. But I'm done being pissed off about the swell. Let's take this thing outside and swing through some stuff. Oh, wait, we didn't even go over this. And it's important because there's an actual extra piece. And I don't know if I have any specs for that on here, and it doesn't look like I do. But it does come with a little neck knife. In this pouch is, I mean, you could put a little baby kangaroo in there. So this is the sheath for the neck knife. Just a little plastic sheath. I don't use it because there's a pocket, I'm going to show you, right here. And the knife, you see this fits right there on the button. The knife fits in just like that, and you could even push it down a little bit lower. I just had it up higher. Then it fits in just like that. So the snap will work. It should work right through that. Yeah, right through that. And it holds that in. This thing is typical K-bar neck knife type thing. I already brought you one and did a review on it, so I'm not going to do a solo review on this guy. But let's see. It's sharp. just like its big brother here. It is shave sharp. Shave sharp for this little neck knife. I don't even know if I'm in the camera. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. What this is a good skinning blade. Chop down a hog, take the meat off. This thing, you can see that it's got a raised ramp right here that is jimped. You have thumb jimping and you have finger jimping. And I have to say that the size and the position of the jimping is done really well. You see how my finger is bowed up? You want to be able to use your finger when you're skinning to be able to push the blade with your finger. You don't want to skin like this. You want to skin like this. I did a review on the Benchmade Saddle Mountain Skinner, which is an awesome knife. But I found that the jimping, I can't get it, was way at the end. So your finger was like this. You're not getting a lot of good push from the end. So, I mean, this one, I really enjoy where the jimping is, where the finger ramp is. It makes that kind of stuff really easy. And when you're talking about catching small game, especially, you know, if you don't want to cook the bones and eat them on a mouse, you just want the meat off of it. Something like this small, this thin, and I mean, it is thin. This right here will be perfect. You know, you're catching birds and ducks and stuff like that. You want to take off the fat or whatever. This right here, not bad. Not bad for these little guys. I found that out. All right, so another thing is that this little slot here that you can put the blade in, while it's very tight, it is ambidextrous, so you can put it either way, along with the sheath. Me being left-handed, I appreciate that. Now, it does have a double snap configuration, and a few other of my KA-BARs had that, and I think the double strap is unnecessary. I hate the double strap. I'm going to be honest with you. I hate it. And what sucks is these straps are really good. They leave enough extra right here to where you're not putting a lot of torque on the button itself, the little snap, so the snap will last longer. I just don't see where you need to have to undo and do two just to get it working. This strap right here up top is all you need. This one I might end up cutting off. I don't need it. But that's it. So this is made really well. You have your belt loop at the top with molly behind it. You have molly all the way down it. And I'll tell you what, molly, it all works. You also have lanyard holes for leg straps. And you have this little bit of cordage right here that I would not cut open and use for different tie downs. A, it's too short for anything, and B, it does a really good job of keeping this pouch together. The sheath, as far as a canvas sheath, this is one of the better canvas sheaths I've used. That's really, really nice. Top quality, top quality. So let's take this thing outside, and I haven't done anything with it. I haven't, except shave my arm just now. This thing, I can guarantee you, if I can hold on to this handle, if I can keep these scales in my hand, this thing's going to be a chopper Sue freaking preem. So let's go check it out now. All right, so let's get this thing. Woo, I stood on a little ice patch. Let's get this thing underway. I got to say that my normal spin is hindered a little bit by this swell. The thumb just doesn't hit it right. Going down low below it, it works, but it feels like it's going to slip out of the hand. Yeah, it's just weird. Weird feeling to try to get your fingers around that. So as a fighting knife, in the woods, if you're attacked by an animal or a Bigfoot, can you defend yourself with this thing? Without a doubt. There's one tiny little patch of ice here that is killing me. However, as a fighting knife, no, it's just not shaped for it. In the handle, shaped for it in the blade though, do some damage there. All right, so we're gonna do the big water bottle today because I just have so much faith in this edge. Let's hit it up higher. Let's hit it up lower. Just clean, 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 clean. I mean, that's clean. We just turned that milk jug into a milk puzzle. That thing is sharp. Let's keep going. All right, let's do some some straight drops, some 4-foot drops, and see how it goes. It should fall pretty straight and with a thud. This thing is it is definitely a beast. They say it's between a scalpel and a sledgehammer. I don't know, man. I think this thing's more like I don't know, like a scalpel and Thor's middle finger. This thing is just a beast, man. It's pretty mean. All right, so let's do the old kitchen knife test here. Whew, that goes pretty fast. Yep. So, is it going to break down sticks pretty quickly? Hell yeah. Let's try and do a push cut. Just a push cut. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was easy. You guys have seen me do that with other knives that just can't do that. That was incredibly easy. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'll tell you, man, the love-hate. So far, I've only found one thing that I don't like, and it's just the scales. It's the texturing, the slickness, and that swell right there. Everything else about this knife so far is just awesome. Oh my gosh, it is literally shredding this piece of wood. Shredding it. Let's see here. Man, there's no better way to get some really fine curls. Holy moly, I gotta show you these guys right here. Right here. Alright, so let's pick that up right now. Alright, so look at these guys. I'm pretty sure you can see all that. Look at that. Look at that. When you're lighting a fire and you absolutely need something that's gonna light, something that's gonna catch, that's really good. Hey, dog, get up here. You get one dog that, you know, he has a mind of his own. You got this guy right here who's too stupid to leave. Hey! The other one's too stupid to stay. Up here, come on. Get up here, you dumb shit. Come on, in the yard. Yeah. Start pretending you're a nice guy. Oh, look, I wasn't going anywhere. Okay, get out of there. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. Man, I could literally do this all day on this. This is going to make some really fine feather sticking for some of you guys who are using this out in the wilderness. And this is going to be your camp knife. And I tell you, it's going to be a great camp knife. I really want to change these scales because I think if I change the scales, this might be one of my new favorites. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I think that if I change the scales, this will definitely be one of my new favorites. I cannot wait to do my next choppers knife video with all the updated knives that I have, because I got so many more since the last one I did. This thing is going in there. This thing chops like it's no tomorrow. Whatever the hell that means. Chops like it's no tomorrow. All right, so let's see if I can't hit it. Man, hitting a pointy piece leaves you very little room. This thing is so sharp. It caught it. It split it. It's dunzo. All right, so let's see. Golly. That is just too easy. Too fine. All right, so now I want to choke up, and I really want to go nice and soft here and just shave what I need. Look at that. Look at that. When you choke up on this thing, you have a lot of control. And when you're talking about a big beastie blade like this, when you choke up, it's not going to get away from you. Because that size, that girth, that weight, it's going to hold on really nice. Here's some old plastic hose, some vacuum cleaner hose. Let's do some push cuts there. Simple. Push cut it again. Simple. Push cut it again. Simple. It is just that easy. This knife is made to be a knife. It's just awesome. I mean, it's made to be a freaking tomahawk and a hatchet and a sword and a whole lot of other stuff. Man, I wish I liked the handle more, because this knife is automatically, I mean, I haven't even left the stump yet. This thing's already one of my favorites. The shape of this blade is just one of my favorites. I mean, I can't find a better blade shape than that. That is just sweet. Man, I got to get over this handle. I got to. And if not, I just need to go get some material and make my own, because I am freaking loving this thing so far. So let's take it over to the tree and knock down some limbs. All right, so I got you set up. Let me walk around this thing. One of the branches that have fallen already. So I got a bunch of stuff I need to chop up anyway. And now I have a knife that's going to be made for it. So let's start with this branch right here. Uh-oh. Problem is, that branch is touching where you guys are. So let's see. Wow. All right, so that was pretty easy. And I have to say, the only thing that's getting me is this grip. So far, I can feel these little bumps right here just tearing me up on the inside, and the grip is just not there. It's just not there. And you know, I believe when you buy a knife, it should be perfect already. You shouldn't have to do anything to it. This one, I definitely have to do something to it. I have to do something about these scales. And what a lot of people say, well, yeah, but wear gloves. And that's fine. That's fine. But you know that I don't do reviews with gloves on, because then I'm going to have an inaccurate and unhonest response to the knife. When you see guys, wow, when you see guys do reviews, holy crap, with gloves on, they're telling you how it feels in their hand. Oh, it feels great in the hand. Oh, there's no slippage, there's no hot spots, there's no this, there's not. How do you know you're wearing gloves? So I'm completely against testing a knife with gloves on. And here's the thing: if you are doing a review and you're wearing gloves and you're telling somebody, okay, well, this is how it feels, and then they say, oh, okay, so they put on their gloves and then they go to work, their gloves aren't necessarily going to be the same exact gloves you have. So I don't know, passing that off as honest and you know what I mean, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So if my hands are going to get dinged up, it's because I'm not wearing gloves, because I need to be honest. What happens if you don't have gloves and you're out in the field? You need to know how this is going to be. So I can say, so that reason, that's really nice. So for that reason, I'm not going to wear gloves. And you say, okay, but can you do a review with gloves on so we know how it feels with gloves? Okay, that's great, but what's to say you're going to have my gloves? Hello? So unless I'm doing a review on gloves and a knife at the same time, then it's going to be pointless, because what's to say it's all going to go down like that and you're going to have the same stuff. All right, so let's see here. Let's get some nice, long, paper thin. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, those are paper thin. Paper thin. Sweet. All right, so let's come down a little bit here. Spin that stick around, because eventually you're going to be at a campsite in the wilderness, and guess what lives in the wilderness? Wild things. And that's pretty much why they call it the wilderness, because it's wild. And so if you need to sleep tight at a campsite where you have to worry about not just little critters, but big critters too, critters that can eat you, what you want to do is dig a nice hole around the front of your camp, put a bunch of these in the ground, cover it loosely. When that animal walks by and falls on, not only did you just protect your camp, but you might have just got yourself some dinner for the next day. Golly. And something like that really helps. You want to make, spears and darts and arrows and things like that. You need a knife that can do that. And the easier the knife can do it, the better. And this is easy. Now, what I can do, especially if I was making darts, is I would pull that little tiny knife out of there, and that's what I would use, because that thing's so easy. Let's do a couple of, a couple little notches here. I almost forgot the word notch. Whew. Doggy. That one's nice. Let's turn that into a square notch real quick. My old Lincoln log notch. Turn that around. Gosh, this thing is so butter smooth that stuff like this, like regular tiny little bushcraft stuff, is just made easy. So the square notch, bam, works out really good. So let's take that square notch and go around in a circle. All right, so now I'm going to spin the stick. So I have cut the skin all the way around the knife, or scored the skin all the way around the knife. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just carve out in between those two scores, check around, make sure the dogs are still in town. I think I just heard one of them. They got to be around here somewhere. If not, you know, pretty far down there is a road. I'll hear screech and bang, and then I'll know where they are. All right, so let's see. Let's see. Holy mackerel! I'll tell you what, man. The ability to work this knife, it's so easy to work, and I wish I didn't have that one complaint. I wish that adventure grip stuff they used was not what they used. And you know what's funny is with KA-BAR, so far it's some of the best steel I've ever used. Between the Beckers and the KA-BARs, some of the best steel I've ever used. The problem I generally have with them is the grips. They're not always the best grips. They don't always hold on the best. You look at the Becker series, they're plastic and they're slick. You look at the leather KA-BARs, they're round and they turn in the hand. And what stinks about that is that you aren't going to beat this steel. This steel is just amazing. Every bit about this knife is, you know, 100% top notch. And trying to find one better as far as the steel is concerned is really, really tough to do because they're that good. Look at this. Look how pretty that is. Look how pretty that round notch is. That's just nice, guys. But when you talk about handling a knife, the biggest thing is the grip. You know what I mean? You can't handle, oh my gosh. What else can I say about that? You can't do anything. Do a stab test here. Oh my gosh. Oh, that reminds me, let's do some prying. I'll tell you what, guys, the bite, just your penetration, I'm getting, let's see, how deep is that? That's the penetration right there. You're looking at a 1/2 inch or more of just downward penetration. And then the prying, like I said, the steel, you're not going to beat this steel. I just wish they had a better who's in the grips department. Honestly, I really do, because these knives are just that good. Get away from that hole. Look at this thing. It's you're talking about being out and needing to survive. You forgot your axe, your hatchet, or you didn't expect to be out as long as you are, and you don't have it with you because you thought it was going to be a day hike or something like that, or you thought, oh, I'm just going to hammock it overnight, and then all of a sudden you find out that you're going to be stuck there for a while. Hey, hold on a second. We just got somebody coming up the driveway. The dog's going crazy. Hold on now. You know, the dog's got such big ears, you'd think he'd listen better. That's not the way it works, I guess. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. Look at this chop, man. You put it in the OK grip, and you're getting one of the most amazing chopping knives you can buy for under $100, especially. The problem is, it just feels like it's going to loose out of my hand. Man, I think I've made up my mind. I'm going to change the grip, and I'm going to turn this into one of the best chopping knives of this size on the planet. I mean, you got to remember that this isn't even, you know, this isn't some 8-inch, 9-inch blade. This is what, 7 1/4? Is it what was that? So you think about it, a knife this size is not supposed to chop this well. It's just not supposed to. It's not what they're made for. However, the good people over at KA-BAR, they don't care about reality. They don't care that knives aren't supposed to do something. This knife is going to do it. This knife is going to do it. And it's going to be able to do it all day long. Wow. This is right there. That is right there. Oh. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press pause. I'm going to chop off a piece that I can baton through. Holy crap, I love it. All right, so I think we're all right. This is kind of a thin one. I don't know if it's going to work very well, but we're going to try it out. Let's see, I took a nice long piece. Remember, this is really green and really sappy. So I know a lot of people complain about pine being used for testing because it's soft, but it can be all the soft it wants. This thing creates a lot of drag. And when you're out in the wilderness, a lot of times what you have is pine. So I don't know what you guys would be complaining about anyway, because you're being shown a wood that you'd probably be using out in the middle of the woods. So let's see if we can't keep this thing balanced on this log enough to do this, and it looks like we should have no problem because already this log just split, so that's pretty good. Normally you'd be doing this on the ground, but I need to get the shot in, so I have to make life difficult for you guys. All right, let's see. We're pretty much already all the way there, but let's see. Here we go. Right through a big knot at the bottom. And when I say a big knot, I wasn't kidding. That's a knot. That's not a knot. That's a knot. All right, so let's break it down a little bit more. Surprised my baton held up. And we're going to get back to that big cluster crap of knots. And no problem. Let's do that just a little bit more. It's all right, so that was on its way out, but the thing is just a beast. It's just a beast. This is one serious blade. How's that edge look? You tell me. That edge is unflawed. That is perfection. I'm talking about if I was a cat, I'd be like, perfection. It is that good. That good. This thing is just awesome, except for right here and for this material. Once I get some sap on it, it stays on pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do until I can do my own scales, I'm not going to clean this handle. I'm going to leave it nice and sappy and nice and tacky, because tacky, look at that, it's not going anywhere. Let's try the old, look at this. It's not going up. Remember before, just doing that, it was rising out of my hand. With that nasty tar on there, that sap, it's not going to go anywhere. Creates a much better handle. Still, it's that plasticky feel, and still I get that swell that I don't like. And I'll tell you what, the swell, if it was just slightly smaller, it would be great. Just slightly. It's not like, you know, I'm being critical, but it's not like it's it's unusable because of that. No, it's 100% usable. The thing is still great. It still feels good in the hand. It just could feel better. You know what I mean? And I have to be critical because I have to be honest. As much as I'm a huge KA-BAR knife fan, I love their steel. I have to be honest at every point. And so far, that's the only point I can make a complaint about, is right there. I'll tell you what, sappy, once that handle's sappy, it changes the game. It goes from a handle I hate to a handle I can definitely use. With, of course, just that little piece that I'm not a fan of. But every other part of this is better than A-OK. This is okay! Well, you guys know how that works. Hold on. All right, so whenever I throw a knife, a new knife that I've never thrown before, I'm not so concerned about the steel being damaged. It's the handles that are damaged. If I miss and I hit the handle, I could break it. However, I'm really not concerned if I damage this handle, because then it'll just prompt me to really get on making my own. So let's test this out. I don't want to break it though. Believe me, I don't want to. I don't want to miss a throw either. We're gonna go back 5 yards. Well, 5 yards of in-flight perfection. It landed dead straight. I mean, I could have like danced on this thing. It was perfect. It was perfect. Like 99% of this knife, it is perfect. This steel right here is just unstoppable. And if you, I gotta say, if you're one of those people that likes to take off handles and do cord wraps, I'm not a big cord wrap guy, but if you are, you will love this knife. You take off this handle and cord wrap it. If you're a cord wrap guy, you are going to have the absolute most perfect knife you've ever used. For me, I think either G10 or micarta is going to add the grip texture I want, and I'll be able to manipulate the shape I want. And what sucks is this shape right here, I love the shape of this. I don't like the shape of this. And because it's plasticky, I don't think I can change that. You know what I mean? I don't know how far I'd go through before, it would start to melt, first of all. And I don't know how thick it is in here. I'd have to check to see if I could even do that, to break down just that part and keep the rest. But holy crap. All right, let's go take a look. All right, my people, here we go. There's the KA-BAR Potbelly. And holy crap, what a freaking working knife. This thing, it is every bit as awesome as you would hope a KA-BAR to be, with the one issue being the grip. The grip gets grippier depending on how nasty you get it, but nothing is going to change that fat part of the swell. And again, that's something that you can overlook. The more I used it, the more I got used to it. So I think it was the initial grab is what really caught me off guard. Holding on to it at first, it surprised me at how thick it was. But once I got to swinging it, it really didn't bother me as much. Still, however, if it's going to be something I'm taking out in the woods, for me, I want it to fit perfectly in my hand. And that is something I know I have the ability to do. So I will do that. Overall, what I'm looking at here is one beast of a camp knife. Let me tell you something. If the Incredible Hulk ever dropped a testicle, you could pick it up and forge it into this knife right here. It is just freaking awesome. Really cool. Definitely worth the money. And I mean definitely worth the money. You KA-BAR fans out there, you guys are going to be all over this thing if you start swinging it. It is really that good of a blade. It's that great of a chopper. It's that great of just an overall camp knife. The thing is fantastic. So there it is. For under $100, you can get yourself a tree chopping, literally a tree chopping KA-BAR that will do the freaking job. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.